Oh, damn.
You believe that?
No, I can't believe it. It's quite amazing, actually.
I also turned the ringer off of my phone.
I'll do that too.
And I have tea ready to go.
And I'm going to mute my phone.
What's up, Bruja? How are you?
She's already here?
Yeah, she beat me.
Timelier than we are. She's already here? Oh, damn.
I hear you didn't delete or mute nothing.
No, I just put that up there. Unfortunately, there was no pause when we were talking.
Fantinuum, welcome. Just a Rican, welcome. Likes your hat.
It's Rod, right? With a D? Just a Rican?
I don't know. Hold on.
I'm asking. That's why I said it out loud.
Okay. It doesn't say in his name.
I know. I'm asking. That's why I'm saying it out loud.
It's a question.
Yeah, Rod. Hey, Rod. How's it going? So I was on a podcast or a show on Sunday. Did you know that?
I watched it, ding dong.
I know you did. I was just kind of saying it.
I know. It's good. It's good to pretend. It's good to pretend. It's fun, right?
It is. It really is. Did you know I did this thing? I'm going to lower my camera. So why don't you say something for a second?
It's just the, oh, you know what it is? It's the smoke detector above your door. That needs to be your boundary. Like that's TMI.
All right. Well, how about that now? Is that
much better?
Yeah, I know. You want to see more of the Macho Man shirt?
Yeah. Yes, that was it exactly.
Yeah,
that's it exactly.
So, yeah, we have a few followers that we may not, and we might see some people in chat that we may not recognize, or
I don't like strangers. I don't like strangers.
Yeah, so if you're a stranger, get out of here now. Don't say anything. Just lurk. We appreciate you just being in the chat. You don't have to say anything. Just be a stranger. Stranger danger, exactly.
Yeah, I don't like strangers.
That's right.
I'm also not friendly. So
how's it going, everybody? Welcome to This Whole Everything, number 25. It's our centennial issue episode. Yay to us.
Hey, we have got to change the name of the show.
Well, that's what I'm saying. We can right now decide what we can start over with a new number 1.
Marvel
Comics. Yeah.
Marvel.
25. We should make this double size. So I want everybody to know they have to pay
3 hours.
It's $8 is what I'm saying.
Oh, we're charging money for doubling the price for this one. I thought we were going to have to go double length.
Yeah. What's double of nothing?
0. Yeah.
Exactly.
I like your math.
So yeah, it's the 25th issue. You said we should change the name of the show. I still do like the name of the show because it kind of it's like what's that program?
Nostalgia.
It's kind of like a nostalgia show. Yeah, exactly. It reminds me of This American Life. Is that what it's called?
Okay, that's
and where it's just kind of like a conversation that they have, and it's not necessarily specifically targeted for any one thing. That's kind of what we are, but with comics. We talk about the store, so that's like a little bit of stuff that's different than any other show that's out there.
Are we going to talk about the store today?
We might. We could talk about the store, but let's get into it a little bit later.
You're saying I think is great as far as the name of the show goes, except that it doesn't communicate that because we don't have any kind of like history behind us like that show does. So when I hear This Whole Everything, I think of nothing. It doesn't tell me anything. It doesn't say anything to me. It's not about comic books or pop culture or books or being white men. Perhaps. I don't even know. Like, what does it say? It says nothing.
But what have we talked about before? I mean, think of all the different things that we've had conversations about. We've talked about guns, and we've talked about religion. We talked about drugs. We talked about, and we sometimes talk a little politics, not that much. We talk a lot about comic books. We talk a lot about books and that kind of stuff.
I still think there's a solution that could satisfy both of us. But that's in my nature, and I apologize for trying to be cooperative and stuff. I don't.
Look, this isn't anything. I don't care. I mean, I just want to. I mean, right now we're just doing this for 20. I keep hearing myself. Is there a reason for that?
You're loud. I mean,
I hear myself twice.
you have your echo. I don't know what the answer. Maybe it's Jill. Maybe she's outside the door with a radio or something.
Oh, maybe she has her. I'll just do it that way.
Hold on. I'm gonna read for 2 seconds.
All right. So see, I can hear myself twice. I wonder if anybody else can. There we go. So we have one person that likes the name. Yay.
All right. I am open to changing my mind.
Yes, exactly. I like this.
I like your explanation. I like your explanation.
Undefined. Exactly.
I think perhaps it needs a subtitle, though, something that just locks it to a little bit of our purpose in life.
Well, I try and rename it afterwards. I've kind of fallen away from doing that a little bit recently. But
I mean, not a specific to the episode tag. I mean, a secondary, like a subtitle that actually tells you what the show is.
Like the comic book show. This whole everything.
We're talking less and less about comics every episode.
No, we aren't.
Yeah, we are.
Listen to that. Mother's Basement. Now that's my brother telling you the name of what I wanted our store to be called.
Is that a thing though? Like, does somebody have that?
Some British store had it, but who knows if they're even around anymore.
Yeah, it is pretty good, and it does tell you something.
I think so too, but everybody is like in such they're so directed towards comic books not being that kind of a thing, that this entertainment and when we opened in 2011, the change had taken over. Marvel movies were starting to become crazy big. Thor came out when we opened, and then Avengers soon thereafter, and it's just been crazy with these Marvel movies just making billions of dollars.
And yet
it doesn't really equate to sales in the store,
which I think is strange. I just think it's odd. But you know what? There's like, it just occurred to me. No, never mind.
Maybe there's just too much entertainment. I mean, when I was a kid and I was reading a crazy amount of comic books and a crazy amount of Player's Handbook, Dungeons and Dragons, stuff like that, different games and things. I didn't have. I'm sorry, I'm screwing around with this so I can turn down the fan. I didn't. I only had like three main television channels and some UHF channels that did Abbott and Costello reruns and things.
Yeah, you were starved for entertainment.
Well, I wouldn't say I was
like me.
Entertainment. I mean, I had three main channels, but we had like other channels. That's how I saw Good Times, because I saw it on rerun and stuff like that, or syndication, all sorts of stuff. But I had time to read. I didn't have like a game. I had to eventually the Atari 2600 came into being, but it didn't stop me from reading comics or wanting to go to the comic store. And, for the most part, I didn't really have to worry about money back then. And comics were like 35, 45, 50 cents. So that helps also.
That's a bargain.
Well, it seems like so. I think if they said something like if they inflated or adjusted for inflation, comic books would be like $2.20 right now.
I've done that math, and that is, I think, a little bit high, actually.
I wouldn't be able to pay for the store.
It depends, man. It's like
enough money. I mean, unless it equated into people coming into the store to pay for the comic books, but we have all these other things that are going on, and this is one of the main things that we talk about all the time, is that there's just too much to have to worry about, entertainment wise. That's why binging is so popular, I think.
Well, okay. Sure.
Well, I guess I killed that. So good night, everybody. Let me tell you about.
There's stuff I want to know, and I would rather ask you than have you volunteer the information.
In a week where we didn't sell a whole lot of comic books, I'm going to tell you what sold the best.
Okay. Hold on. This week's a holiday too, right?
Yes.
All right, go on.
So there are like almost no trades coming in this week. So if you're the kind of person that buys collections, you got some things to choose, but you might not see a whole lot of new things. Although we are getting a shipment from another company, so we'll have different books to check out. So it's mostly comic book heavy, and there's some good things that are coming out. We'll talk about it in a little bit. There's definitely some things. I got them right here. There's a few things that I'm really excited about reading. I'm excited to read.
Hey, why are you at home and not at the store?
Because we got done at like 3 o'clock, and I wasn't going to sit in the store for 5 hours.
Oh, I don't blame you. I was just curious.
Well, yeah, and that's because we have a.
You have any mukbang?
Driver. Pardon me?
Do you have any mukbang?
No, I'll just smoke a different strain for you
tonight. Oh, right, sure.
We'll do it with me off camera. Though.
Thank goodness you're doing that for us.
Anyhow,
hey, so your show was a lot of fun. I had a good time. I mean, I consumed it. I did not participate in any way.
The one that I was on?
Yeah, it was amusing. So a couple of those guys are very funny.
I like those guys a lot. Yeah. All right, so for those of you that don't know, I was on the what are they called? The S&B Network?
Yeah.
Comiccast podcast. And it used to be a podcast, and now they stream on Google or YouTube, but who knows how long that's going to actually keep going on because we don't know either.
Yeah.
Anyway, they were a really good show, and I really was. I had a fun time. I tried not to, interject too much. It is weird when here I'm trying to like fill space, fill air, while Lowell tries to figure out what else to talk about.
I don't think that's accurate, but okay.
So that's why I'll do like that. But the main thing I tried to do, and this was I didn't go into the show thinking that I wanted this to happen, but I did not repeat any jokes that I said. If it didn't get heard or if it just failed, and I was like, I'm not going to do like that Seinfeld episode where George tells the woman who's deaf in one ear that he loves her. And then he's like, I'm going to go and tell her again, but she might not have heard me. Don't do that. Don't do that. Don't go back in and tell the joke again. They may have heard it.
The alternative is going really slow. Oh, I'm sorry. I don't want to speak over you. Yeah. I mean, that's it. That's the way that it works. It lowers your volume. So if you got overtalked, you got overtalked. Sorry.
Yeah, there was a lot of people in chat.
There were a lot of people on the show.
I mean, on the show is what I mean. Yeah, exactly. And I just didn't want to, it's not a big deal.
Have you checked out Comic Bullies?
Oh yeah, they're good. They talk about, so they are only a podcast. So, you go on your iTunes or whatever and get it. And they are good. They have a lot of cursing. And I really enjoy their repartee. And they usually have a lot of conversation about media. So like television and movies and stuff like that. But they talk about comics also. And they're a really entertaining podcast, actually.
I believe it.
Yeah. I recommend it. So yeah, that's if you're got something else that you need to do instead of read all these comics.
When you update the description and stuff, you should plug those shows.
Okay, I will. Yeah, that's good. Yeah, so the Comic Book Bullies, they're good.
I thought it was pretty cool though, man, because you got to sit while at work, right? And then a couple times you had to go and like deal with your store during the show. It was, right. I don't know. The rest of those guys are not doing that. You know what I mean? they're like sitting in their mother's basements, or I'm kidding, but they're in they're like you're in your studio right now, right? Your den. Well,
I have my
a couple of them were. Most of them were, I would say, probably. Yeah, yours is shaping up to look realistically like a den.
Yeah, I'm enjoying some of these posters that I found that I didn't realize that I had still. That's a Frank Quitely Batman and Robin that Grant Morrison wrote. And then right above it, there's Frankenstein by Bernie Wrightson.
Oh, he is real good, huh?
Yeah.
I like Bernie Wrightson.
And then over here, we've got Psylocke and a Spider-Man standee. And then a Teen Titans poster by George Perez that Marv Wolfman wrote those issues. And then this is a Grant Morrison, Frank Quitely X-Men. And then there's more up above.
Marv Wolfman wrote the very first comic book I ever bought.
Which was?
I cannot remember.
Can't remember. A lot.
Couldn't told you. Yeah. No, I know that.
It was Marv Wolfman then.
Pardon?
How do you remember it was Marv Wolfman?
I just remember the name. I remember his name from when I was a kid, thinking, what a strange name.
Did you read
Wolfman?
Werewolf by Night or no. Tomb of Dracula? I think it's Tomb of Dracula he wrote.
No.
He wrote a lot of those. Oh, you know what? I went to the Berkeley Comic Show on Sunday.
Did you buy anything or stifle anybody's theft?
No. I didn't hear of any theft, so I wasn't able to rescue any comic books this time.
It's too bad. That should be your superpower. It's like whenever something goes wrong with comic books, you'll be there.
That's right. Exactly. I'm gonna. So you remember last week I said I wanted to collect comic books that came out in 1970 in the month of March.
Yeah, vaguely. Yeah, I remember.
I'm old. Well, I got a few of those. I think this is going to be a harder project than I thought it was going to be.
Of course it is. Where did you think it was going to be easy?
Well, the thing is that most of these aren't like their key issues or anything like that. But goddamn, I'm old and these things are expensive. And I didn't necessarily get the greatest condition ones. I just went with ones that I was willing to spend money on. So I did get the main one I wanted, and I'm very happy about that. But anytime I can get a Spider-Man one also is one that I'm looking for. I mean, if there's a reason for it, then it's good too.
Who are you looking for?
All sorts of stuff. So at first, I'm going to show you. So I was born on the 23rd of March. So I really wanted to get this one.
Spoilers.
And it's Captain America 123. And this is cool. It's written by Stan Lee with art by Gene Colan. And let me get you another page. The condition on this is pretty good. I don't really have a problem opening it, though, because it wasn't, like, super great.
Well, it served its purpose, then, didn't it?
Yeah, totally. This one. So I've collected the Fantastic Four. Sometimes, I mean, recently I did when Jonathan Hickman wrote it. And I like the Fantastic Four. They're okay, but they're not my favorite thing. And getting a Fantastic Four for something like this, I was worried that I wasn't going to be able to fall into the Kirby issues because he did the first 101. So number 96 falls on my birthday month.
Are those twins?
Pardon me?
Are those twins on the cover?
Twins? No. I don't know what the hell's going on in here. There's probably some machine to make it look like the Thing. Anyway, oh, look, the Mad Thinker. Look, he's like a head in a robot. Oh, no, he's just talking on a microphone. Never mind. That's that other guy.
It's his iPhone, dude. Why you hate?
Whatever. Oh, there you go. There's the Thing fighting the Thing. Oh my gosh. Look at that. Ah. All right. So there you go. I got that. There were two other ones I got. I got Amazing Spider-Man number 82. This is with Stan Lee and John Romita drawing it. And this one I really wanted to get, even though I'm not really a big fan of Iron Man. This actually was issue number 23, which again is the day I was born. So I thought that was pretty cool. And this has art. I was never a fan. Archie Goodwin is the writing, and George Tuska is the artist. And that one looks okay, but let me show you these pages where he draws the mask.
Was that Arnold Schwarzenegger in the ad?
Very well maybe. Let's take a look. What do you guys think?
I can't tell.
I can't tell either. Oh well, I doubt it. He can't be that. I mean, 1970. Arnold's what? Like, well, he's got to be older than me, right? Well, yeah, I'm not going to look right now because that's boring. I want you to see the way that George Tuska draws the face of Iron Man. And I always thought that was kind of lame looking.
It is kind of lame looking.
Everything else looks really great, but Iron Man is so stupid looking.
Maybe he too did not care for Iron Man.
Yeah, maybe.
Get me off of this book.
So I got those comic books. I also got some Wonder Womans, which I don't have right here, unfortunately.
How much money did you spend, and how much swagger did you have to pull?
I didn't. You mean like how much wheeling and dealing did I do?
Throwing your weight around, whatever you want to call it.
I try to like just if I wasn't really. I'm usually not the kind of person that wants to get prices knocked down, but the guy who was selling Wonder Woman also had that Spider-Man 82, and the 82 was $50, and I thought that was a pretty good price. And then I came back to the store and I looked at the price guide, and it was a very good price. It was right where it belonged, actually. But the Wonder Womans were in near mint condition, and they were comics that were from like the mid 80s, and the guy was asking $15 a piece for them. And I was like, God, that is a lot of money for those. But lesser condition ones are often being sold for like $6 or $8, even though Guide says that even to this day, they're just $6 books.
Like $6.
Yeah, Near Mint is supposed to be a $6 comic book for Wonder Woman, $2.97, $2.98, and $2.99. But each one of them was $15.
Okay, but you said they were almost perfect.
They were very nice. The only problem was one of them has just the beginnings of like a little bit of a tear, it looked like. And I don't know. I probably shouldn't have bought it. So I asked the guy, since I was going to get the $50 Spider-Man, I asked if I could get everything for like $80 instead of like $95. And he did it. He basically gave me one of the Wonder Womans for free.
The one with the tear.
Probably. Yeah. So this one is with artwork by Mike Kaluta. I'm sorry about the glare.
She has a lot of rouge on.
Dude, I love Mike Kaluta, though. He is great. He did the Danzig Black Aria cover.
He did?
Yeah.
Wow. I remember that cover.
Look at this cover. That's by Frank Miller.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah, isn't that great?
Wow. Yes, it's very nice.
Yeah, I mean, after he's done with like Dark Knight and stuff like that, he doesn't really, other than Sin City, he really doesn't do a lot of other stuff. And then this one, that one is pretty cool too. I think it was the Kaluta cover I thought had a little bit of a ding in it. That felt kind of, I don't know. It was tough to, I don't know, $15 for those? Oof. So I was like, oh, man.
Maybe that's his bread and butter, though. Maybe those maybe it's easier for him to sell a $15 book than it is to sell a $50 book. So if he can sell 3 of those, he makes basically the same amount of money, and he might make more money because it might be cheaper for him to get those books, which would make sense.
Yeah, I feel like he's kind of grading them as if they were already graded CGC style. Because he had some She-Hulks that I was really salivating for. And I bought lesser condition copies of the ones that he bought for like $4, $6. And he was charging $40, $45 for them. And
he might also be fishing.
Well, he is, but I mean, he's definitely making me have to say, hey, I need a break on these. Because I know, I mean, if they come in the store, I'm giving a person like 25 cents for it. You know, there's very rarely a person like me comes around. Wonder Woman, I don't know. Everybody's speculating right now. Everybody's hoping that something's going to be the next thing that's going to spur some sales from back issues. Because back issues are, you know, you pay less for them.
Yeah.
Sometimes they're something that's sitting in my room anyway because I've been a collector for years and it's finally hot. Woo! I got something back here. I can guarantee it.
Right. I view my comic book collection as mine forever. Like, it's not like books. I don't think of it the same way. Like, I don't think I can get rid of it because I don't think I could get rid of it knowing that it was going to not the dump.
Yeah. Well, I don't know. I'm in the process of recouping a lot of X-Men comics that I just got rid of. I was already in the frame of mind that I'm just going to do the collections. And I thought that that was the way I wanted to go, but Kyle coming in and working for the store and Bruja next door and, you know, just these little conventions and everything. And there's some YouTubers out there also that are, you know, well, you know, they're very well viewed. A lot of these YouTubers, and they talk about collecting and what's hot, and a lot of it's just like the new stuff, but sometimes they go back and they actually pay attention to, you know, other things that are going on, not necessarily just because, you know, there's a movie, you know, and they talk Golden Age and things like that. That's really cool because I don't even know really the Golden Age all that much. I barely really know the Silver Age that much.
Before your time.
Yeah. That's why I'm going mostly the comics that I'm collecting are Bronze Age. You know, I'm just kind of recollecting what I ruined when I was a child and collecting an entire run, which I wasn't able to do back then. So, you know, I'm getting my Spider-Man run together. It doesn't have to be long. It just has to be from that time period. Even though I have the books now, I guess I just have to do it now.
Yeah. That seems right. That seems true.
Well, you know, if we were gaming, I might be buying gaming stuff a little bit more.
Man, I wish they still made minis.
Well, I mean, it's just anything. It could be a new module. It could be a new book. Oh, let's try out a new game. That doesn't really happen as much as when I was younger. But, yeah, we always got together to play D&D, but we always played something else. That's how it almost... Gamma Worlds. I brought Gamma Worlds instead. I brought a TMNT instead. Oh, we hate Palladium.
Nobody like D&D was expensive. I don't know what Southern California world of privilege you grew up in.
Dude, it seemed so expensive back then that buying a $50 gaming book now doesn't even seem expensive.
It's because dude, one, I did not have any money as a kid. Like, it was not available. It didn't happen.
Well, I played with my family. So my father, my aunt, my uncle, my cousin, some family friends. That was my first D&D experience. So everything was there, and I got a player's handbook, you know. So what are you going to do?
I mean, play the game. It's great. The whole family was invested. I'm just saying, the game was way too expensive to just go out and buy the TMNT, the D&D, the blah. You know, we stuck to D&D for that reason.
Well, I didn't spend my lunch money. I know.
Santino thinks we're nerds. Get out of town, nerd.
I didn't eat lunch.
That's how you bought D&D stuff?
That's how I bought everything. Well, man, I remember going to the comic book store and buying Miracle Man with lunch money I didn't use. I mean, you get a can of Coke, obviously. That'll be good for the day.
I can't even imagine skipping lunch, drinking a soda instead, and then trying to function afterwards.
I wasn't a good student.
I would be asleep. That would knock me out.
No. I mean, history was boring, so yeah, I took a nap. Anyhow, I also bought that. I put that up on Instagram though. And I bought
$12.
It said $20. But I bought a bunch of stuff from the guy over at A1 Comics. There in Sacramento and some other places.
His store in Sacramento is very expensive.
What do you mean it's very expensive?
I mean, everything they have for sale in there is priced high.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah. I'll still spend the money because I want the stuff, but it's expensive.
This one's a cool one. Got some Hobgoblin Spider-Man Centennial issue. $250. Everybody loves Centennial.
And they didn't raise the price? What was wrong with them?
$7.60. No, they did not. I love that. Oh my god. It wasn't $50? Holy cow.
It should have been $1.20.
Oh yeah, exactly.
Should have been $1.20.
No. Sometimes those Centennial issues, it can be an $8 or $10 book.
Well, now, but like what was double then?
Oh, I see. Yeah.
$1.20.
Well, I'm saying, you triple it. My goodness.
Well, still $1.80. That's an odd number for a comic, I think.
Yeah. So I sold some comics this week.
Would
like to hear what
all right. Give me a hint.
Oh, all are mainstream.
Okay, so major publishers.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, that's the only clue I'm gonna get. Hold on, I can do this.
Okay.
X-Men.
There is an X-Men.
Justice League.
No.
Damn it. A Batman. Okay. And
one more.
One more. Not Green Lantern.
What was that?
Not Green Lantern.
No, it was a mini-series event.
I can't remember what that's called.
War of the Realms number 6.
I'm a terrible comic guy. Oh my god.
No, that's great. So it was War of the Realms number 6. It was X-Men Grand Design number 2.
Grand Design is so pretty. Yeah. I
Yeah.
cannot get over how good looking that book is.
And Batman Damned number 3 on the strength of 2 covers.
And Batman Damned is magazine sized?
Yes, it is magazine sized.
What is the deal? Why are they doing magazines again lately?
Well, that was the beginning of the Black Label line. I think we were all very
Do they not realize how annoying it is to keep magazine sized boxes and with your regular size comics?
Well, it's not just that, man. It's like they have magazine sized and then they do a reprint of Batman White Knight under the Black Label line, and the trade of that is in regular size.
Oh, so they get to fit right next to each other perfectly. One's this tall, and
then we don't know how they're gonna collect Batman Damned. Is it going to be smaller size, a bigger size, magazine, whatever. And then there's Batman Last Night on Earth, which is a 3-issue miniseries by Snyder and Capullo. And that one is regular comic book sized. And then Superman Year One just came out and it's magazine sized. And I want you to know that they said that they got rid of Vertigo because they don't want to confuse us anymore.
That's a good one, Yule.
Yeah, thank you.
I appreciate that a lot. collecting comics that were magazine size and black and white, and like I'm still very happy that I have the ones that I do, but nowadays I just find them very annoying, especially the trades. Like a trade that size is, you have to have a whole special shelf on your bookshelf just for those, just for those.
I'll put it next to my House of Leaves.
Yeah, I get that joke too. Although I know it's a reference, it's not a joke, but like
Brewhog gets it.
Black Hole, you remember Black Hole?
Yes.
Charles Burns, that thing wasn't regular size. Fortunately, it was just square. It wasn't deep, but like his other books are, I don't know. I think they're like more than 18 inches high.
Oh yeah, his bigger books are like
dude. Come on.
Yeah.
Don't be a dick. I mean, it's terrible. They get damaged so easy. And a place like Half Price, like Bruja was saying, she hates shelving them. It's because they stick out. People kick them. You cannot keep them in good condition. Like you will never sell. It has to sell immediately, or it has to have a special place on display, or they're ruined. Terrible.
I'm pulling out a book to show you.
I do like books.
The cool thing with being at my house, I can show you some stuff. I've got Cages by Dave McKean.
Oh, okay.
This is the Comics Lit from NBM. I think this might be the original production of it. It might not be. It might be the second. Anyway,
what does NBM stand for, and why do I assume that that's a European printing house?
I think it kind of is. It might be an American company printing European comics often. A lot of Trondheim is done through NBM. Anyway, this is Dave McKean actually doing pencil work, which I love his pencil work. But I got to admit, I've never read this. And that's like some of the most I've ever opened it. But look at that. That's horrible. This whole thing is just like wonky.
Don't even get me started about binding. Please.
This is so sad because it's a wonderful book and I can't wait to sit and read it someday, but I'm sure the day that happens is going to be the day it falls apart.
So it used to be that if you had a book that needed a new binding, you could take it to a bookbinder and they would put it in a new binding for you. And it wasn't really all that much frowned upon because when you bought books, you could custom select your binding at the time because they kind of bound them when they were bought. And then we got into cheap printings and books. Now they just fall apart. And if you then rebind it, it's worthless, literally worthless.
Oh, yeah. Well,
right. It is.
As far as Cages, I wouldn't care. I just want it to look nice. I want it to sit on my shelf properly and have that cool cover. And no one knows this version of it anymore. So yeah. It'd be nice to just have it available for that. I mean, it's a lost art. It'd be, I don't know, maybe that's what I'll do going forward.
What, start a museum?
I'm already working in a lost art.
Yeah.
Or with lost art. All the time.
It's funny, man. I don't know. Maybe comics were just a niche all along.
I mean, it had its time. And it's not necessarily gone. I mean, it's just going to evolve in its own new way. There's going to be people that are going to doodle and want to put things out, and just paper isn't a thing. Not the same way. And either is reading. I mean, every year it just feels like it's even more. I mean,
I feel like books are not dropping off in popularity as much as I was led to believe.
Mm-hmm.
Like I remember seeing some statistic about e-readers and the amount of book sales on e-readers, like kind of falling off a cliff in the last couple of years. And I wouldn't be surprised if it was just a fad and people just wanted to read a book. But comics, that's a little different.
I don't know. I mean, when you say that, what do you mean as far as?
Well, comics are very they're visual, right?
Yeah.
And I'm already very used to looking at images on my tablet or on my computer screen. and it's not hard to read, but like I don't want to read on a tablet. Never have.
Well, if it was made specifically for the tablet, I think it would make a difference. I think what would be neat is if someone was releasing a comic book specifically designed for your phone. Like, this is the thing you're going to see it on. Therefore, I'm drawing it for that.
And the only thing you're going to see it on?
And well, it doesn't have to be. It's just not going to be as translatable. And you know what? So what? Wouldn't that be neat? The minute, someone had to like decided, I'm gonna film a movie on an iPhone, or whatever. I want to tell a story through snapshots on my phone, and that's fine. It's just a different way of maybe like telling the story. This is my premise. This is my one concept as far as comics that I think would be.
Spoiler alert, though. Don't tell anybody before giving them the spoiler alert, just in case you write it someday. You might be spoiling it for them right now.
No, it's not that, because I'm personally not interested in doing something like this. All right, so I've often said that comic book creators, comic book writers are doing these comics to, as basically to show people like, hey, this would be a great Hollywood movie. This would be a great movie. Versus that one book that was beautifully illustrated by Ribic. Felt like a premise for a movie, something that we might have watched at one time, or it feels like something that would be going forward. It'd just be a script. It's a pitch. And a lot of people have admitted to this, and a lot of people from outside of comics have come in to do comics so that they could do that. I've heard a lot of people that come through the comic store, and usually the people are pretty nice, but they want to know about like the industry and how you go and get an artist and what you have to do. And they let you know about, oh, well, we had an artist, but they want to own X amount of this business, this property. And well, if you're not paying them, and even if you are, they're going to want that. And, I don't know this stuff because I'm just a comic book store owner / employee at one time. And, you hear things, but so, there's a lot of people that look at comics like, oh my goodness, they're mining comic books for television. And I'm a person that's always wanted to, or has, and now I'm doing this. I remember when Jeff Loeb got into comics, and you find out that he did Teen Wolf 2 and I don't remember, Red Command, whatever it was, something like that, some commando style movie. And then he's doing comic books, and you're like, ugh. You warm up to him after a while.
Wait, what was the book that he did?
Well, he did Long Halloween, which is like very famous and very well received by most people.
Yeah.
He also did, for Marvel, he did a lot of X books. He also did a series of color books called Spider-Man Blue and Daredevil Yellow and Hulk Gray. And it's all the early years of these characters. Anyway, he did that was with Tim Sale.
Who did Tribe?
Tribe?
Yeah.
Larry Stroman, that Image comic book, you mean?
Huh.
With
That name, that's it.
Yeah, I love it.
His name's familiar to me though, and I can't think of why. And like for whatever reason, I was associating it with Tribe.
I can't remember.
No, I'm wrong. There's no question about it.
Yeah. Well, I wasn't worried about that part.
You should be. I'm very sensitive. My feelings get hurt.
Oh, well, you're an idiot. What are you going to
do? I don't want you to do anything different. That's what I want. Don't do anything different. I love you just the way you are.
All right. Very good.
Yeah. Ooh, got windy. I can hear it.
So anyhow,
Corey's here. Hey, Corey.
Hey, Corey. So there's a lot of people outside of comics that are, coming in and trying to do this stuff. And
I'm one of them.
You're not trying to do anything like this. So anyway, this is my premise. Having said all of this, here's my premise.
Go.
I'm so glad I was able to remember to get back onto it. Write a comic book like a script. So, in a movie, how much time goes by on a page of script?
1 minute per page.
Do that for a comic book. Write a comic book and don't make 50 freaking volumes that need to be adapted.
Yeah, I hear you.
Comic book like the movie you're trying to present. What do you think?
I think that's a good idea. I wonder, like, are you hinting at like that Aristotelian idea that the story should be told in one day?
No, not at all. What I'm saying is this: if you are writing a 90-page movie,
Hour and a half,
an hour and a half, then that's exactly how many pages that comic book should be also.
Okay. So what if so that you rule out all of the 20 minutes ago things?
Oh, well,
Those can't happen.
I'm not creating a comic book for this. I'm just saying that I would not include that for sure.
You would definitely not enjoy that anyway. So is this thing going? Wow, I can't believe it.
Anyway, that's my idea.
That's great. That's great. Anybody in chat want to steal that? I'm selling it for $1.
Oh, probably the most likely person to do that would be Fantinuum. So
Continuum, don't you dare! Without paying me $1. What are we gonna do, Yule? Have you looked into it at all? What did those guys say they were gonna do about their show on Google Hangouts?
I don't know, but I linked you on a thread on Twitter where they were talking about OBS and stuff.
Yeah, I mean, I have OBS.
The only reason why I let you know about that is
you
because
would need it too. So
I don't understand it.
No,
I know you don't understand it, but you understand it more than I do.
Oh, that is sad.
Well, it's sad, but we need younger friends, obviously.
No, that I don't think. No, that is not what that means.
I just don't have time to like research it, and even if I did, I can't guarantee I'd figure it out.
I'll figure it out.
All right, well, then that's your answer. That's what we're gonna do. You're gonna figure it out. I don't know. We could
not getting younger as a definite fact.
Podcast. I think podcasts are really cool. It's audio, and it could be. We could figure out something. Although, is iTunes stopping that process also?
No, I think they're just breaking iTunes into pieces.
Okay.
And one of those pieces is going to be podcasts. I'm guessing that they're not going to have a separate section of iTunes just for books on tape, but they might. I don't know. They might. I haven't looked into it. I don't look into Apple. I don't care about Apple. I don't want to know anything about Apple. I just want my iPad to work and my iPhone to work. Damn it. Take my money.
Take my money. Take my money.
Take my money.
Take this.
You know what I miss? I miss Futurama.
Yeah. It was a good program.
He's not funny though.
Training?
Yeah, I don't find him funny. He's amusing to me, but not funny. Like he never makes me laugh. And what was the other one he did? Enchanted. There's like a show he's got on right now called Enchanted that I watched a little bit of, and man, that was a slog. It was like
the first commercial break. Ugh.
What happened?
I said I watched the first commercial break.
Ugh.
Okay. I turned it off.
Yeah, I didn't dig it.
Yeah.
You know what I have though that I don't know where they are, but I know I still have them. I found them a few years ago. I had lost them for a few years, and then they turned up, and then I've subsequently lost them again. I went to when I first moved to California. Is it 40th going up towards CCA and Broadway, or 41st? I think it's 41st. There was a permanent yard sale up there on the right-hand side. And now, in hindsight, I think they were meth heads. But I didn't know anything about that at the time, and like what it makes you look like and behave like. I didn't know. I do now. I'm pretty sure they were meth heads. But every Saturday and Sunday they had a yard sale. And I went through their ephemera one time, and they had greeting cards by Matt Groening that dated from before The Simpsons.
Or was it like Life in Hell characters?
No, they were like novelty joke shop gift cards.
Just like Hallmark cards.
No, not Hallmark, but
the over 40 cards.
like hip.
Hey, you're turning over 40.
No, not that kind of stuff. The kind of stuff that people have ironically on their whatever. I'll fish them out one of these days if I can figure out where I hid them.
We ironically had Kevin Sorbo as Hercules on our refrigerator.
What does he do? Disappointed. So good, dude. Oh,
I love
writing. Doesn't it make you just want to write a script?
Yeah, and then make it into a comic book.
Oh, so funny. Make a couple dollars too, because I heard it's real easy to break into comic books and make a ton of money.
Well, it's really easy to sell your script. Real easy. Netflix is looking for anything.
Yeah, but you know what? You still have to write a script.
I gotta say, all right, stop me if I've said this. I would often get asked, I wanted to be a writer like all my life. I wanted to write comics, and then when I tried, and I was like, I'm only doing books from now on. It was like in Southern California, you tell somebody about it and they're like, oh, you want to do television or movies or something like that, you know? And it's like, no, I have no desire for that stuff to ever happen. I'm like, I'd be the guy. I won't ever release my stuff for movies. And if I did, I would never
stop. Just stop right now. Stop right now. If somebody said, hey, that's great, we like what you're doing, we want to give you $100,000 for you to let us make
my next thing.
What's that?
Then they can pay for my next thing. They don't
What do
need
you mean? What do you mean?
If I wrote something and somebody wanted to make a movie out of it,
yeah,
then they can pay for my next one and they can forget the old one.
What?
That's what I'm saying.
I don't.
If you want something so bad, you can have the next thing. You didn't get the other one. I'll write.
You're honestly telling me that you would turn down $100,000?
Well, I mean, you know, it all depends. I mean, if
that is a life-changing amount of money for someone in your shoes. I will
say this: I would not bitch about how the movie comes out if I was to sell it. That's for sure.
You have no room to complain if somebody pays you that much money for a script or a story idea.
If you take $5, you don't have any room to complain. That's your fault for doing that. I'm sorry. I mean, I know Fantinuum agrees with that.
If you sold a script for $5, you're living in 1822.
I was out of weed at the time, and I got an.
Did you hear about the dude that like got away with like 20 bank robberies? He was a Boeing engineer that got hooked on heroin. Did you hear about this guy? He robbed a bunch of banks. And like I saw the article on it showed the list of all of the amounts of money from 20 of these banks or whatever. And sometimes you would just get like a couple $100. Sometimes you got like $5 or $6 grand. But it was all a Boeing engineer who got hooked on pain meds when he fucked his back. Oh shit! Damn it! He messed up his back. He messed up his back real bad.
That's all right.
And it hurt. It hurt.
Let me tell you. That back hurts when it hurts.
Oh, Fantinuum, thank you. Sometimes I'm worried that I'm hallucinating.
That's right, on Fiverr for weed money.
Oh man.
Yeah, well, there you go.
I think if somebody offered you $100 grand for a screenplay, that you'd be very happy.
Well, I was talking about Yule then. But I don't know. My dream was never to write to, be. I like fame more than I do. It's funny. I like fame more than I do money.
I think that you would not find that to be true. I think that money is equal to freedom, and fame is a form of slavery.
I didn't look. The problem is that art, it's either the most important thing or it's the least important thing. I mean, are we just doing something so that people can consume it in all sorts of mediums and all sorts of fashions? I
Whoa.
mean, a lot of people got up in arms when MTV did videos for music. Doing videos for music.
Do you remember those days? Do you remember how awesome MTV was?
No, because I didn't have it yet. I had to,
Man, it was at my grandmother's house, and that was the only time I got to see it.
You saw MTV?
Yeah,
Can I touch you?
I know.
I know. I see the commercials all the time, but we weren't able to get cable because it wasn't in the area. BS. Yeah, I might feel differently, but then I don't know. It's just I feel the same actually. I mean, I could use 100K. Don't get me wrong, but again, if you like something of mine, you can like the next thing. It's different if I do something specifically to be consumed in that way. Look, you don't fuck.
Oh, I did it earlier.
Look, you don't want to eat. I don't know. Whatever.
I think it's okay for things to be made for general consumption,
as
long as it doesn't get in the way of people making things for art.
Yeah, I know, but man, we're just consuming ourselves to death, man.
Nah.
You know how many Spider-Man titles come out?
Dude, you don't have to buy them. You don't have to read them. You just tune that stuff out. Just decide, I've got $10 to spend this week on comic books. I'm buying these. Wait, can you buy it? You can only get 2 or 3 comics now, huh?
The problem is that I have to have them so that they can be purchased.
Are we going to talk about your store?
Well, I mean, we are. I mean, everything.
No, we're not. Are we?
No, we're not talking about the store.
Okay.
But I'm talking about things that are, part of the store. Yeah.
That's a little different.
Yeah.
I mean, like you as a consumer versus you as a store owner. Like, let's just talk about, we're talking about consumerism essentially, and like why people
talk about consumerism.
Well,
I mean, people would rather come in the store, tell you how good it is. Oh, wow, this is like the greatest thing I've ever seen, and leave with nothing, and then either go to half priced next door or, get on their phone and order it so it could be at their house when they, get there. That's one thing. That's definitely been something that's happened. But on the other hand, we have faithful customers. And one of our faithful customers didn't know that we were going to have a book in stock. And when he saw that we had a book in stock, not only did he buy it at the store, he canceled his order from Amazon and said, I don't want that shit.
I can totally appreciate that.
That's pretty sweet, man.
It is. It's very nice. But
that doesn't happen with
the general trend is what's going to end up killing you, or,
we need to be a different store if we want to last. So this is the thing. Let's talk about the store.
Yeah,
I'm practicing this because, I'm going to have to talk to a lot of people probably. We have 2 years left on our lease. And we have a sweetheart deal. But it's still hard to make rent from time.
Sweetheart for Berkeley.
Well, exactly.
Sweetheart for Berkeley.
So, what I didn't go to school for economics. I just wanted to write books. And I was one of those guys that didn't care about making money writing those books. So you know that my knowledge of, customers and percentages and markets and trends and all that stuff is rudimentary at best. It's cash register level all the way. Commutative property, and that's it. So, it's this comic store business is really crazy.
Well, you're trying to play both games too.
Yeah.
You
Well,
you have to play both games if you're going to have a store selling comic books.
yeah. So I think one of the things I'm going to start concentrating on more going forward.
Women.
Love them.
No.
Actually, I was looking. So you look at what sells the best, and what sells the best is nonfiction type stuff. Some staples like the Batmans that are really important, the Sagas, the Preachers, the Sandmans, a few X-Men, a few this and a few that, and all the praise that you get for your store being so great is worth dick if you don't get anything out of it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Number one, I don't get nominated for any awards. Granted, we have to do that ourselves because that's what awards are.
I can nominate myself for stuff.
Well, you have to be a store if you want to nominate.
I am a store.
Well, you can't get a comic award.
I'm gonna nominate myself anyway.
Try and get an Eisner next year. That'll be great. That will show them.
Was it when you win? Do you get knighted? What is it?
You get an Eisner award.
Eisner.
I really wanted to get the stores when I quit that place. I wanted to steal it.
Well, who got it?
The previous owner or co-owner with Rory. Patchen.
Really?
Yeah, you have to nominate. It's just like the East Bay. Oh, best of the Bay, best of the East Bay, whatever.
Hey, that's important.
Yeah, it's important. It's so important. You got to get 7 numbskulls that come into your store to nominate you, or something like that. You've been nominated. Make sure you buy some space in our paper. It's like whatever. Maybe we should have. Oh man, I'm so stupid. Just nominate yourself.
Did you just figure out how to run a business successfully?
Screw that. Again, I don't like. That's the reason why I quit college.
Why? Because you didn't want to get your economics degree?
It's not just that. To get into higher learning and be a big whoop-de-doo, you have to really play games. And you can look at me. Am I the kind of guy that wants to play games with people? D&D, of course.
You're a strange guy, Yul. You really are. I love you dearly, and I think you know that I love you. But your ideas about school are weird. That is not why you go to school.
What do you mean?
You don't go to school to play games.
You go to school so you can do something after that. You don't do it just to screw around, right?
You're supposed to go to school to learn stuff.
Yeah, learn. Well, all right. You can be. You can make that your job. Obviously.
You mean grad school?
Yeah, exactly. You can go to school.
I also have a PhD in history.
I have a friend. He went to school so much he now teaches at that school.
Well, there's no avenue left for him.
Always learning, he's that kind of guy.
There's no other avenue.
Outside of that, what are you gonna freaking do with it?
Look at a bookstore.
What is a history degree worth? It doesn't help you with the economic side of your store. What good is freaking knowing how to string sentences together?
Well, okay, so it may not have an immediate value, but the education that I bought and went to school for, whatever, it has been useful. However, I think trade schools are really where it's at.
Yeah, well, that was a thing that was popular and then kind of went out of favor, but then
people just look down on it because they got all this fancy learning.
I don't know if that's true. There's definitely been trade schools for video games and stuff for a long time. A lot of electronic stuff. I remember the DeVry Institute when I was a kid.
That was a for-profit institution.
That that wind-up toy walking into a wall. That's me. I walk into the wall.
Correspondence courses? Is that what you're talking about?
Exactly. But I don't want to do that. What do you want me to do? Blow my brains out? I mean, that's the worst thing in the world.
I guess then your only choice is to open a comic book store.
Da-dun!
I just want to be around books all the time. I want them to come to me. I don't want to go to them. I want them to come to me. So I want a store, and I want it to be big and empty with no customers.
Oh, yeah.
So that I can just swim like Uncle Scrooge in my paperback section, and then more books just come in and go away. Doors locked. Call for an appointment. One person at a time. That's it.
This is a mail order world or an auction based world when you're talking about comics and stuff like that. There is a way to make some money slinging books to this, even new ones. If you're able to get alternate covers and things get hot, there's a way to make really good money selling comic books. But I just want, I am the guy running a store who wants to proselytize. Is that the right one? Proselytize comics to people.
Yeah.
It doesn't. I personally don't care what kind of comic books anybody reads. I don't ever judge people. Very rarely do I judge people on the comic books that they buy. I think it's cool that all sorts of comic books are purchased by all sorts of people. No, but and I find it great. I just love it because I grew up loving comic books. I remember going to the comic book store with as I'm getting closer, I can even right now, I feel like the joy that I can feel that right now.
Are you going to cry?
No, not at all. It's method acting, but it'd be like, it'd be happiness.
Yes.
I remember going in and these two owners of the comic store, the husband and wife team, they were from New York and they have this New York accent and it just, you're ready to go in and hear some shit talk, gonna go.
Yeah.
And, it's good. It's good stuff. Yeah.
I'm not a witch. I'm your wife. That kind of stuff.
It wasn't, but it was loud though. Definitely.
Oh man. I was just thinking the same thing, Fantinuum.
What's that?
Hold on a second. Yule, is there a comic book museum?
Yeah, in San Francisco.
It's only in San Francisco. Who works there? What kind of people work there?
Dude, one of my customers is the curator of that behemoth, I guess I would say.
Well, it seems to me like there aren't a lot of options for people who love comics. It's either work in a comic book store or find another job and supplement your comic book interests elsewise. Right.
Well, it's always been that way.
Or go work at the museum.
One of my favorite artists is Michael Golden, and he famously would come back to comic books after doing a stint in advertising. And then he'd do comics for a little while and then go back and make some money in advertising and come back and do comics. That's pretty sweet. There's been other people that have come from advertising to comics, like let's say Neil Adams, even though he did other stuff before that. Steranko came from advertising and he did comics. And there have been people outside of comics that do stuff. And usually these days, they're coming from online sources, like the Tumblrs and stuff like that, or web comics even. But usually those are, when it's web comics, it's usually that stuff actually being put in print. So anyway, yeah, the Cartoon Art Museum, my brother's got that right there.
But it's a good option.
I think Steve Jeppy, the guy who owns Diamond, I think he had a museum also, and that was in Maryland. But I think there was some money. Even he couldn't keep that open. the distributor of the comic books to me couldn't keep his store open.
It was a store or a museum?
It was a museum.
Well, it was a little different.
I know. I'm just joking.
All
Or you
right.
see,
So
like,
about archival, like Jeremiah works in the archives of San Francisco, and I know just based on talking to him, I would not enjoy that. I would not enjoy that.
yeah.
I think he's a born bureaucrat, to be honest. Like, I think he's a bureaucrat. Like, I think he belongs in the Eastern European, one of those countries, because he just like he thrives under bureaucracy. I don't know, but
But
no,
he
it
didn't
doesn't.
really like being in one, right?
Of course not. Nobody enjoys being in it, but that's part of the reason that people are good at it, because they're miserable, and then they pass that misery on to other people.
Oh, I see what you're saying. Okay, very good.
Well, as far as like archiving and stuff like that, yeah, I love preservation. I just don't want to deal with the science of it.
Yeah, I just want to do it in my room.
I want to preserve my stuff. I consider that my job as a collector, is to make sure that the stuff that I own currently leaves my collection in as good condition, or it's impossible to get better, really. I can clean them up, that's it, but no worse. So I'm transmitting my collection through time into the future for someone else, and hopefully some of it survives. I know Anna Karenina will survive. I know Dracula will survive. I don't know about the rest. It makes me sad.
So I just want to get to the upshot of what we were talking about, though, really quick.
What were we talking about?
About the store.
Oh.
So what I'm going to do, like I said, we have a 2-year lease. Now we have a potential for not being in the storefront, or we can stay. And if we do before the 2 years is up, what I'm thinking of doing is concentrating on the all ages section, which does really well for us, concentrating a little bit more on the manga aspect of the store, and definitely cutting down a ton of the comic books going forward. Like becoming, I know we've talked about it before, but I mean strictly, 5 above subscription, that type of stuff.
Or just you didn't tell us you wanted it, therefore we didn't buy it.
That's right. It's what it like.
This is a hard Scrabble world, man.
I was talking to Eugene about it, and it's like it's too much of a gamble going forward. They don't do anything to give us any assurances like Image recently has, and I've upped my orders on their number ones because they're the no risk number ones. They even had a no risk, beginning of a next story arc in a different book, and I ordered more of those. So that is less risk that I have to take on. I'm more than willing to play their game when it comes to that. Peter Samedi over at Alterna, they sell cheaper comic books. I'm willing to get those comic books because I just want to have something that I can show people that isn't, just the other stuff, and I don't have to spend as much money to get it in the store. So that's like really cool, have like another thing. But I'm not going to do pop vinyls, but I'm really looking for the next pop vinyl, and other than that, it's just going to be all ages books. It's going to be nonfiction. I'm hoping maybe I can grow I don't know. It just feels like there isn't like that underground scene anymore quite so much.
Where? In San Francisco?
Anywhere. There is no underground. I shouldn't even really say underground, just true alternative. The true alternative, again, is like Volt and Scout and Oni. And they have crappy comic sales just like Marvel has crappy comic sales these days. So there's like just like Vertigo that got canceled, or just like...
Is Fantagraphics still around?
Which one?
Fantagraphics.
Oh, I love Fantagraphics. We sold out of one called Bottom Feeders I had to get back in. So I'm really looking forward to that coming back.
They're in the city, aren't they?
I think they are Washington.
Oh.
I could be wrong. I don't know. One of them is like Chicago. And
I don't think they're Chicago.
They're Washington then.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure actually it's Washington.
That seems reasonable. Can't all be in San Francisco.
Nothing. Only Last Gasp is in San
Francisco. That's the one.
Yeah.
Last Gasp.
And they changed their format of their store also.
They have a store?
Well, I mean, they have their thing out in San Francisco.
Well, I didn't know anything about that.
Yeah, I don't know. I never really went in too often. I went like once or twice with Rory back in the day.
Rory.
Anyway, let me tell you about some comics that are coming out.
Hey man, I think it's a good idea. I think you should modify your store to fit the needs of your area. I think it's a good idea to have a store.
Well, I mean, the thing is like I was bitching about, you can get compliments only get you so far,
Yeah,
and
yeah, sympathy and pity and all that stuff too.
well, I mean, yeah, exactly. Well, no, I mean, pity might be better,
No, no, no.
But whatever. There was an ICV2 article that was written by the guy that owns Mile High Comics, and he talks about how he even they, which is like they ship
They're
all
huge.
over the world,
Yeah,
everybody knows Mile High. And everybody knows about the super ridiculous prices at Mile High. We're cheaper, I guarantee it. I just don't have everything like they do. But
they do have everything too.
Well, they don't really, but
they have a lot of stuff, man.
They do.
They have multiple stores. Well, they have a warehouse in Denver.
And they're always buying, and that's what he's saying in the in the article. I'm constantly buying, and I'm making way more money on this old stuff than I am on the new stuff. The new stuff has a shelf life of like 2 weeks, something I've been talking about for a while here. The constant coming out of a new Batman, a new Batman, a new Batman, a new Batman, and a new Batman miniseries. Hey, there's a new Batman miniseries, and don't forget Batman that came out, and all that other stuff. It's too much. And after a certain amount of time, and I see it with my customers, they are building up stacks that they come in and get, that they're not reading the stacks that they got the time before. And they got more stacks piling up at their house, and it's just piling. And now it's backing up in the store. And now people just aren't coming in and getting them. And then I'm like, I got to stop getting this freaking stuff, That's comic books, man.
That is
Lois Lane, number 1.
Lois Lane. Is this next week? Is tomorrow?
Yeah, it's tomorrow.
And then Thursday is holiday. Is that right?
Yeah, but we'll be open till like 5.
You're staying open on the 4th of July?
What?
I don't know. I thought that was the day when people closed.
I don't think so. Not all the time. Not everywhere.
Dude, I don't know. Okay. Don't take my word for it. I don't know.
Well, it's only for a few hours. So, and my brother
works in retail. Bruja, are y'all closing? You closing early? What?
Yeah,
late. That was a thing Half Price used to do, right? They'd open late on a day after a holiday. That was very nice. Well, anyway, moving on.
I'm not un-American. I love America. America's great.
I think he called you something horrible, man. That's terrible news.
Anyway, Greg Rucka's writing this.
Lois Lane.
And I'm looking forward to it. It's got this really nice look. It's like kind of noir-like. Although I open it. Yeah, it's pretty darkish. So I'm looking forward to that. Black Hammer, Age of Doom, the next issue comes out.
Number 11.
There's also a Black Hammer encyclopedia that comes out tomorrow.
Whoa. What does it look like?
I don't have it. It looks like
come on.
It looks like a comic book.
It's a comic.
Yeah.
Oh, darn.
So also I did not bring any of the Alterna comic books. Oh no, I did bring one, but I didn't bring the one I wanted to show you. But this one's good. Mighty Mascots, number 2.
Alterna?
Yeah. $1.50. There's a few that came out, but one, if you remember that guy that's been in our chat before, Larry King.
Never heard of him. Yeah, no, I do.
Okay, very good. He is doing a story in it came out on a Wednesday horror anthology that they do.
Yeah.
and it looked pretty good. I giggled when I looked at
I
it.
saw his tweet.
Oh yeah, well I've been retweeting it.
I don't know how I saw it, but I saw it.
All right, I want to ask you a question. Do you know who this is?
That's King Kong.
It's a superhero comic book.
Yeah, no, I don't. I know that character exists, but I don't know who it is.
So that's Gorilla Grodd.
Okay.
Do you know who his villain is or his hero is?
No.
That's the Flash's from the Flash Rogues Gallery.
Okay.
Anyway, this is a cardstock cover. It's thicker and $1 more than the other ones. And yeah, it's a Year of the Villain tie-in issue.
Hey, wait, that DC logo, that's their logo now. Is that right? The one on the top left?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, because look, there's Green Lantern #9 that comes out tomorrow.
I'm real used to seeing that stuff that accompanies the logo, though. You know, the stuff underneath the DC. Kind of like how Image has their little oval with the stuff underneath it, and Alterna has their little band. Everybody's got a little band, right? A little vertical.
I guess they kind of have one going here.
Yeah, but it didn't on the Gorilla Grodd.
Well, that's because this is the alternate cover.
Okay. I like it without the band.
Good.
I like that. It looks good.
Yeah, it is cool.
Who did the cover for Gorilla Grodd? It looks like what do you call that? Oh man.
Oh wow.
Doomsday Clock.
No. Oh, I should have looked on the cover. It's an Art Adams. He hasn't done that much DC, so that's pretty cool. Run, don't walk. Issue #9 of Green Lantern comes out. My favorite comic book. I just read issue #8. Whew, that was weird.
You're weird. Saying it was weird?
Oh my god. I don't know. He's the one guy I don't care if I don't get it. Some people I don't get it and it really bothers me. But with him, I'm just accepting. I'll catch up.
Okay. All right.
What can I say?
do.
There's just a couple more I'll show you. Oh, here, 3 last ones. Superman Up in the Sky.
Who did this?
6.
Who?
It's written by Tom King.
Oh.
It's drawn by one of the Kuberts.
Okay.
Andy or Adam. Andy, and it's Andy.
Andy, okay.
These were the comic books that came out in Walmart exclusively a year ago.
Oh, got it.
So what the Walmart comics were like, they were 100 pages and they cost $5, and they had like 18 pages of a Superman story in it that was new, and they were written by Tom King. And that continued for a year, and now we're finally getting them. You know, the people in the comic store are gonna finally get the
take your revenge by not buying their crappy books.
But it's Tom King. Everybody loves him.
I said crappy books.
Tom King.
Crappy books.
That's right. I'm not ever gonna get another. Let's see. What would I not? I can't be the arbiter of what is crappy. I appreciate the fact that everybody likes something. That's the bind I'm in as a store owner. You know, I don't have a.
I would respect you more if you would just go ahead and be the arbiter. Just do it. Just cast your judgment. It's not like you don't have the experience or the knowledge to do so. You can read a book ahead of time and say, this is garbage. I'm not selling this garbage in my store.
If I didn't get Brian Michael Bendis comic books, you know what I mean? Yeah, exactly. You got it just as I was saying it. If I didn't get those, I mean, come on, it's ridiculous. I have to
just
get those.
Order the ones that you are gonna sell to people who pull it. You know what I mean?
not have Superman in a comic book store?
I don't know, man.
Yeah,
I'm just spitballing, and I don't know what I'm talking about, as you were aware.
Hey,
But
look, everybody.
oh no.
What do you think we're going to be? What do you think?
Hold on. What's that guy's name that sold his soul to Netflix?
Oh yeah, what is that guy? It was
Damn it. He did Scott Pilgrim. No, not Scott Pilgrim.
no. Let's see if somebody gets it before you do.
Not Gary, Indiana. It's Millar, Mark Millar.
Very good. I am very impressed. Here's his brand new one. Oh, look, it's a space comic, everybody, from Image.
Boom, nailed it.
Drawn by Matteo Scalero, who just got done doing a sci-fi space comic from Image. Oh, I've never seen that before. Anyway, it's going to look great, as we know. I'm sure it'll be really have some fun elements in it and a lot of really good action. Miller usually does some really good characters. So, hey, I mean, you might as well read it before you watch it. You got to consume it on as many platforms as possible.
True that.
True that.
True that.
Hey, everybody, look. Fresh off the War of the Realms, we get Sea of Stars, written by Jason Aaron and Dennis Hallam. Who's Hallam? Who cares?
Hal if I know.
Hallam if I know. And it's drawn by people I don't know. Stephen Green.
More people I've never heard of.
It looks like it's a space comic from Image, everybody.
Are they really going that route?
Look at Image with a space. I've not seen a space comic from Image. Well, at least I like Jason Aaron. What are you going to do?
Nothing. You're going to just complain when it doesn't sell?
No. Au contraire, mon frere.
You're going to complain when it does sell. Got it.
That Image book I can return. It was no risk.
No risk. I like that. I like this.
Exactly. I mean, that's Image. I mean, hey, all right, I'm shitting on him for a second, talking about the space books, talking about Black Science and Scalera and all that stuff. Those guys are really good. I like Mark Miller. He's half the time he's pretty good. I like Jason Aaron. He's almost always great, and
almost always.
But I can only read so many freaking space comics before I don't remember which one's which.
No, that's true. That's true.
I mean, isn't Mark Miller doing a space Sharky, which is like a space bounty hunter comic book? It's like, come on, guys. I need, Netflix is going to buy them all. Don't you worry about it.
They already have, man. He can do whatever he wants. He can literally do whatever he wants now.
Now I'm going to make it a woman. That's how I change it all up.
Yeah. He's well, whatever. Even if he's only 50%, that's good. That's pretty good.
For me, I mean, other people it's a lot less, and other people it's all the time. So,
dude, so many of the things that are on TV or that you read are just not any good at all. So yeah, 50% is great.
Yeah. So yeah, there's a few other. Actually, I feel like it's a pretty good week. Anytime Green Lantern comes out, I'm pretty happy.
That's all it takes.
It really is all it takes. And like I said, you got Sea of Stars and what was that other one? Space Riders, Space Bandits. And I love this cover. It's all kind of like a 1980s movie or something.
Yeah.
Anyway.
Geodesic dome in the background.
Yeah.
Okay. That's what's coming out, huh?
Well, I mean, yeah, obviously there's more. That's right. Talk for a second. I'm going to see if I didn't bring this in here.
I'm going to ask you guys in chat a question. What is the stuff that y'all are excited about that's coming out this week? Because I know several of you are, Stranger Things is coming in 2 days, and I will watch it in 2 days is probably realistic.
You mean all of it, right?
I'll probably watch it over the course of 2 or 3, maybe 4 days. If it's 8 or 9 or 10 episodes,
you're gonna watch every single one.
No way, man. I cannot sit down that
You are lying to yourself. He's gonna binge it all, and then he's gonna watch it again. And by the end of the weekend, he's gonna have watched it 3 times.
No way.
Oh yeah.
No.
So, are you the kind of guy that wants to watch the first and second season before you get to that?
I watched the first episode, the very first episode,
Yeah.
about 15 days ago, and I decided that I did not need to watch the rest of it. It's still fresh enough in my mind, and it doesn't have the replay value that I would want it to have in order for me to spend that many hours going and watching it again.
I feel that way too. Jill tried to threaten me with watching it again, and I'll just put my headphones on.
No, I watched Twin Peaks 2.5, 3 times, but yeah, there's some stuff hidden in Twin Peaks, and there's some very creepy feelings in Twin Peaks. There's no creepy feelings in Stranger Things. I don't think there's too much hidden, really. I mean, I think they tell you everything that's going on. It's neat. I like it. I want to go and live there, but I don't need to rewatch it.
It doesn't really exist.
What?
Never mind. Yeah. Hey, man. I hope you have a good time when you watch season 3.
Are you not going to watch it?
I didn't watch season 2.
Why are you like that?
I don't know. The first season was so good. Why bother? I watched the first episode of season 2, and I didn't. So. I kind of felt like, oh, it's starting all over again. I better stop.
You can't handle the stress, I think, is what it is.
No, I don't know. It's just not the type of television I enjoy anymore.
That's what I mean. You don't like the stressful stuff. You don't like the stuff
appreciate how much and how pro Dungeons and Dragons that program was, especially in the first 15 minutes.
That's all.
Screwed it up a bit, but I was so happy with it.
That was all. It was the first 15 minutes. Any other references they made to D&D were completely off.
I agree, but I just so appreciate that
somebody's like, oh my God, D&D's cool. Thank God people think D&D's cool. Oh no, we couldn't live without that.
And then after that episode, I dwindled with each reference that came along to the point where the second season, there was nothing they could do that I was really going to care about.
Did you ever watch that show, The IT Crowd?
I hate it.
There's a D&D episode.
Ridiculous.
There's a D&D episode that's really good.
Wait, are you sure that's the right one?
I'm positive.
That's the British one?
Yeah, I'm positive.
Okay, I thought it was.
She has to take a bunch of managers. Company managers are coming, and she has to entertain them, and she doesn't know what to do. She's in way over her head.
Text me that episode number.
I don't know which one it is, dude. It's a D&D episode.
There's only 7 episodes.
You shouldn't have a hard time figuring out which one it is.
Oh, whatever then.
It was very funny.
Yeah, look, see, Fantinuum likes it. It's got to be shit.
What a dick! Such a dick.
I just couldn't stand. Oh my God, that fire episode! I just hated it.
What about the Mighty Boosh? How do you feel about the Mighty Boosh? Because he's talking about the goth that was in the closet or whatever, and that guy's in the Mighty Boosh.
Never watched it.
Yeah, you have, because it would be on at Jeff Hunt's house when we were playing D&D before his buddy moved.
Yeah, but I didn't remember any. I mean, that
show made me laugh so hard. I mean, I was sober and laughing like crazy.
Yeah,
doesn't hold up for the second viewing. I've tried. There's the Crack Fox episode, and I mean, that thing was insane. I laughed so hard it was like watching Pootie Tang the first time, and then second time, not fun.
Yeah,
you can't watch it a second time.
Everybody liked it way more than I thought it was. I mean, I like Pootie Tang, don't get me wrong.
Pootie Tang is very amusing.
Yeah, it's more amusing, yeah.
Well, it is the second time. The first time, it made me cry. My stomach hurt. It hurt from laughing. Had to pause the damn movie. That was bad. I loved it.
May I ask you a question, Lowell?
Yeah, go for it.
Do you know who Mobius is?
Are you kidding me? You mean the French illustrator Mobius?
Yeah, that guy.
Yeah, Mobius's Garage from Sony in San Francisco before they closed the Metreon.
Oh, I remember that place. That was nice looking.
Yeah, man.
He also
I know who he is.
For a half a minute.
Carpool?
Marvel.
Oh.
Well, I wouldn't say he did a project. And it was with Stanley. And tomorrow a new version of it comes out. It's big, it's hardcover, it's really nice looking. And I'm going to show you what it is. It's the Silver Surfer Parable. This is not the one that we're selling tomorrow. This is from my house. See?
Yeah, that's very nice looking.
Let me just show you some artwork inside.
Yeah, Mobius is good.
Dude, Mobius, pretty sweet.
I don't know who it is on Instagram that I follow, but they're posting Mobius constantly. Say something.
Oh, I'm sorry. I didn't say anything during that. So, yeah, it screwed it up.
That looks like a penis. I see one.
There you go,
we should make this a game. Every episode, we should have some kind of phallic imagery in comic form because it's always there.
Oh, I'm so glad you said in comic form.
Go away. Go away. Just get out of here.
So that's coming out tomorrow also.
The reissue of that or what?
The reissue. It's a hardcover. It's large sized.
Thank God they made it big.
It's really beautiful. Oh, well, you know, that's
isn't that right?
Really, I mean, it's so pretty flawless in comic book size.
Can't be helped, man. Like the European size of hardcover sucks. They're horrid. I hate them. Unless that's what everything is formatted like. Get it out of here. I hate it.
Right.
Don't want anything to do with it. It's pretty, but I'm not going to buy it. I'm not going to buy it from your store.
Why not?
Because the size is frustrating.
It's nice. It's worth it. If I didn't have this and the comic books also, because it was a 2-issue series, I probably would get it. I mean, I could always just get it.
It's the kind of thing where you buy that and then you're like, oh, I need other stuff that's the same size to justify the shelf space.
Right.
So
going forward, this is the important thing going forward. Order your comics if you really want them.
Yeah, because otherwise you're not going to buy that junk.
Expect to have a larger selection of kids-only stuff.
Kids only? You mean all ages?
All ages. I didn't really mean kids. Yeah.
So who's going to be doing the buying for y'all then? Who's gonna lead the way with this new approach to comics? And
well, it's all of us. I mean, I do all the ordering anyway.
So yeah, but like, what are you using? Are you just gonna guess? Like, do you know? Like, what are you doing? How are you doing it?
I'm gonna allocate the extra money
that
I would have spent on Marvel, DC, non-image #1 comic books, stuff like that.
Sorry, Dark Horse, you're not around anymore.
Dark Horse. I mean, it's going to be like if they're the only thing I'm going to take a chance on is something that I'm going to want to really push because I care a lot about it, or I think I'm going to. And anything else is like, you know what? If it's something that I would have just sold 2 or 3 copies of, unless I know somebody's going to really specifically want it, I'm not going to get it,
Yeah. Yeah.
And then I'm going to take that money and I'm going to buy the things I sell all the time. I always sell Saga 1 through 9.
But they don't make it anymore.
I always sell Saga of the Swamp Thing, Alan Moore, all the time. I always sell Sandman 1 through, it's being reissued, but do I even need to say that? It's all of those sell. Death, the miniseries, always sells. Preacher always sells. The Wicked and Divine always sells. At least right now.
You threw that bag of comics I gave you?
Yeah, I'm burned it. That's what I did.
You burned it. Was Death in there?
I don't remember. I still have it at the store now. It's got to be processed.
You're bad at this. You're bad at this. That was like 8 months ago.
If you have death, that's 3 comics out of an entire bag.
It's 8 months.
It's not worth.
It's one grocery bag worth of comic books
that nobody cares about. The only person I could possibly freaking try and get to buy that box, that bag, would be Bruja. And
I'm not asking you to sell it, dude. I'm just asking if you even went through it, and you haven't.
That
you haven't gone through it in 8 months.
I went through it with you. Stop arguing with me.
You're bad at this. You're bad
at this. You're bad at this.
There's an Image Zero in there. God damn it!
I know, you told me.
Rob Liefeld did the part of the cover.
I mean, the only thing I can do with that is take it for myself because ain't nobody gonna care.
I know.
I should have taken it for myself because I care.
You still can. You still can. Take it. Take it.
Yeah, take it. Take it.
All right.
I think
you should look at
what's the company? What's the company that's in that bag?
I don't think there's any serious. There might be a couple.
No, it was serious. There's a lot of serious.
There'd be some Animal Mystic in there probably because I did not know what I was buying when I bought those.
No.
He's whatever. They're all right. I don't remember what's in there. I know a lot of Image stuff. I know the Cerebus things in there, and I just don't remember. I can't remember it. And I was asking more because I don't remember than anything else. But it's fine. It's fine. It is also time. We've earned the double. We've charged these poor people double. And we've given them an extra 11 minutes.
Yeah.
So I think it's time to tell them to go home.
All right.
We don't have that right.
Well, you don't.
You can't stay here.
Yeah, you can't.
You don't have to go home.
Exactly.
Isn't that what they say at the cool bars?
That's right. I have a few songs that I play for saying goodbye. I play Goodbye Goodbye by Oingo Boingo. The End and When the Music's Over by The Doors, 2 different songs. What's the one from The Sound of Music?
The hills are alive with the sound of music, which can be turned straight into. It can be that song can be turned straight into the Star Trek theme song.
Yeah, I agree.
Can. I'm a nerd sometimes, and I'm happy about it. Hey, but seriously, we got to go.
All right.
Thank you all for showing up. It was nice to chat and hang out with y'all. Yule?
Good night.
All right. See you guys next week.